What is it about? Pizza. What is your brain already doing that you don't even know you're doing? I love pineapple. My favorite, okay, don't be grossed out. My favorite pizza, pineapple, green peppers, shrimp, green olives. So good. But follow my logic here. I never have to share with anyone. Logic. Okay, what's important? Do we care it's a ringette versus a hockey versus a basketball team? Do we care that they had a party versus sitting at home and eating pizza? So the entire first sentence. Eric, I get she's prettier than me, but you probably want to look at me, not her. I get that. So the entire first sentence, irrelevant to this question. We don't care. Two partial pizzas. Partial is important because partial means what? Fraction. Means there's a fraction involved here. Half of the ham, a third of the pineapple. We don't even really care what kind. We just care there's half of one and a third of another. Because there was a one-topping pizza deal. Total. Total. What does total mean mathematically? It means add. Close your eyes. I'm going to read you what we have highlighted. 1/2, 1/3, total. Does that give you enough to answer the question? That's all we need for this one. Go ahead and add those two fractions together. Dallin, can you just take your earphone out for me? Clearly this is not a boys hockey team or a ringette team because there would not be pizza left over. Ever? Ever? No. It's actually a rule that they can't. Really? I did not know that. Step number 1. Before, remember, there's the same step for every operation. Change to improper. Do we need to do that? Step number 2. What's common between 2 and 3? Step number 3. Change the numerators. How do we go from 2 to 6? 1 times 3. How do we go from 3 to 6? 1 times 2. Step number 4. That's what you said to do. You said add together. I added together. What? At the top? Okay. Why? Fractions are weird. But this is number of pieces cut into 6, and this is number of pieces of cut into 6. Can we suddenly magically cut them into 12? No, it doesn't work that way. Very last step, same last step for every single question. Can we? No. Word problem, we need some kind of units. 5, 6, what? Pizzas. Pizza slices. 5, 6 of a pizza. Or 5 slices out of 6. No, that's like grade 8 stuff. We're good. As long as you have some units, we're happy. We don't like words. No. Oh, you want to write an essay on a math question? What? I could totally make you do that. That's a middle school thing. Read to read number 2. Don't overthink it.
Yes, my birthday's tomorrow. Happy early birthday. Thanks, man.
What's this one about?
Birthday money.
Video games, birthday money, money, spending stuff. That's right. What's important?
Video games, yes.
Do I care how you got it?
Nope.
Nope. Do I decide do I care where you're going? Nope. No, actually that doesn't matter. Yeah, good thought, but no. Find the question word, figure out what we're trying to find. How much money left? What does left imply mathematically?
No, minus. I like saying minus. That's what I like
Here's how my brain sees the problem. If you want to do it a different way, that's fine. I take the $30, and I know I'm spending it on 3 different things. I'm going to spend a half on something, I'm going to spend a quarter on something, and I'm going to spend a fifth on something. I could care less what I'm spending that on. How do we calculate a half of 30, for example? Or multiply by? Or multiply by? A half, right? Dividing by 2, multiplying by a half, exactly the same thing. So what is a half of 30? What is a quarter of 30? So a 15 divided by 2, 750. What is a fifth of 30? So 30 divided by 5. It is 6. How much did we spend in total? Add them all up. Offer of $28.50. Offer of $28.50, looking for confirmation.
Wouldn't you minus 30 though? Subtract?
I'm just not in the last step yet. So this is how much we spent. How do we find how much we have left?
You take away $50. Subtract it from 30.
I heard an offer of $1.50. Confirmed. Units. American or Canadian?
Canadian.
What's the symbol for Canadian dollars? Questions so far? Read to read number 3. I think you should be finding a new bank at this point, but keywords or key parts to this is
$46.
that was like in stereo. I liked it.
110. Withdrew 110.
I like the word withdrew. There's another keyword in that sentence. Each month. How much money left after 3 months? We've already talked about the word left, same word that was above. What does left mean? So we're going to do some kind of subtracting in here. I'm going to do this left brained. If you want to do it a different way, you're more than welcome to do it a different way. I'm going to set up 3 columns. I'm going to start with the money at the beginning. We're going to calculate the amount of interest or service fees. And then we're going to figure out the amount of money after. You do not have to use a table. I'm just showing you one way to do this question. Very beginning, no time has passed. How much money does he have in the bank? How much are they taking off for service fees? 1/10, so we're going to do 46 times a tenth. How do we multiply fractions? Top times top, bottom times bottom. But what do we do first if we can? We reduce. Can I reduce anything? They're both even numbers. What can I divide them each by? So 10 is going to go down to? 46 is going to go down to? 23 times 1? 23. 1 times 5? And we probably want it in decimal value because we're dealing with money. So if you need to grab your calc, you can grab your calc. We want to know 23 divided by 5. $23 divided by 5. Like, don't everyone shout at once. Don't, all rummage for your calculator at one time. Lazy calculator people.
4.6.
Offer of 4.6, looking for confirmation, except it's money. $4.60. How do we find out how much he has after they take that from him?
Times that by 3, because there's 3 months. Isn't over 3 months.
But that's just the first month.
Do you do it that way though? Times, yeah, I think that's what I did.
Like, seriously, lazy calculator people. I'm not your math monkey. I'm not doing this for you.
42.40.
Offer of 42.40.
Yeah, you don't need it. 41.40. Oh, yeah. That's in my head.
But you don't need to shout out somebody's wrong because we don't do that to you. Correction to 41.40. That was month number 1. Now we got to do month number 2. How much money does he now have in the account? How do we figure out 10% of that? Yeah, that's what we could have done here, by the way, the 460 from the 46. So it's going to be 40 or $4.
It'd be $5. Oh, $4.14.
Okay, how much does he have left?
37.26.
Offer of 37.40 or 26. 36.86. Somebody confirm 36.86. Somebody make a new offer. If you're not going to bother getting out your calculators and doing this, I'm not finishing the example because I am not your math monkey. Get out your calculators, lazy people. Well, okay, so does that sound confirmed?
Oh, yeah, no,
We still got 1 month to do, but let's just pause. Why couldn't I have just taken the amount in the first month and times by 3? Yeah, so look at the interest difference or the service fee difference from month 1 to month 2. Are they the same? No, that's why I can't just times by 3 at the beginning. Now we need to do the third month. How much does he have at the beginning of the month?
37.26.
What is 10% of that? 72 or 73?
3.
How do we find the amount he has left? Minus it. That sounds confirmed. What's the final answer to this question?
How much does he have left? He has 32 or 33.53 left after 3 months.
There's our final answer. You don't have to do a table. If you have a different way of doing it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just going to repeat, we couldn't just do one calculation and multiply by 3 because the amount of the service fee is changing as his balance changes. That's why we have to do it step by step by step. Brody, what are you so excited about that you're showing everyone? But is that going to help you pass the math test? Probably not so much. Just a reminder, your devices should be away unless you're on the calculator. If you're on the calculator, it should be flat on your desk so I can see it. I do not have my phone out right now. Read to read number 4. What's it about? Gummy worms. Okay. Key numbers. 9/4. Operation. This one's a little bit trickier, so let's kind of do process of elimination. Would I add these together? Why does adding not make sense? Not just that, because we can add improper fractions. Good thought. But why does it not make sense to just add these two values together? How many gummy worms do I have? So could I have more than that? No, I only have 9/4. There's something with the half, but I'm not getting an extra half, so adding doesn't make sense. Could I subtract? Was that going to tell me how many batches I need to make? Subtracting is going to tell me what? How much I have left after one batch. Is that what the question asked for? So subtracting is out. Could I multiply them? So multiplying is going to give me more again, just like adding gives me more. That doesn't make sense. What's the only thing that's left? This has to be a division question. Step number 1. Step number 1. Changed to improper. Step number 2, that red step with division that we looked at on Friday, it was in red. Something about a reciprocal of the second one. So I'm going to leave the 9/4. I'm going to flip this guy, and what am I doing in the middle? Step number 3, reduce anything I can reduce. Can I reduce the 9 with anything? The 2 with anything? Sure. I can divide them each by 2. So it's 2 divided by 2. And what's 4 divided by 2? Step number 4. Yep. I do how? Cross multiply. Top by top, bottom times bottom. 9 times 1 is 2 times 1. Step number 5. Step number 6. And then because it's a word problem, the very, very last step of any word problem Is that batches of cupcakes or cupcakes? Batches of cupcakes. How many cupcakes? We don't know. We don't care. It can make 4.5 times the recipe. Do you see how if we weren't sure for the operation, we just went through them logically and figured out what it couldn't be? So couldn't be adding, couldn't be subtracting, couldn't be multiplying. It's the only thing left. Read to read number 5. What's it about? Yep, some kind of balls. I put a dog there because a human would probably not have 20 balls. It's a little weird. So he's a dog in my head. Key things.
20. 4/5. Smaller.
Half of those is really important. I'm actually going to box that as well. What does the those refer to? Correct. So it's not of the 20, it's a half of the 4/5. What are we trying to find? So this is going to be a two-stepper. What do we need to figure out first? 4/5 of 20. Step number 1. Improper. Step number 2. Cancel anything. What can I divide them each by? 20 divided by 5? 5 divided by 5? Step 3. Multiply, top times top, bottom times bottom. Do I need that 1 on the bottom? No. So now I'm done. What does this tell me? What is this 16? Smaller than a soccer ball. Now I need to know how many of them are tennis balls. How am I going to figure that out? Change to improper. Cancel anything. What can I divide them each by? 2 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2. Step number 3, top times top, bottom times bottom. Do I need the 1 on the bottom? 8 what? That's exactly what we did. Show me your thumbs. Getting it? Getting it? Not getting it. Awesome. Turn to the calendar. Look at page 68. Figure out what questions you need to do, but don't start with the first question. Which question are you going to start with? And on the calendar, I cut off where the answers were, so I put it there for you. It's 4:58 is where the answers are. Caitlin, there's just a form in here I need you to fill out and then just give it back to you when you're done. I need to talk to Dallin and Brody first, please. the teeth here.